Hey y'all, happy Friday. I don't know what day it is that you're watching this, but I am leaving work at the moment. I had to go get some stuff from my parents' house. I came on here for another episode of Here I Am. Sorry, I didn't say that earlier. But I was at work. I usually get to work around 7:20, 7:30. Today it was a little bit late. It was like 7:35, but whatever. Who's counting minutes because I'm here all the time. But yeah, so there's a company at my job that has been using spaces in my building for like a year or so now. It's been at least a year. And the thing with a lot of places, especially commercial buildings, is the temperature is like kind of out of control. Like for a lot of places, it's either, especially here in Augusta, I don't know if it's like that everywhere else. I haven't worked in the physical office since 2019, so I don't know. Well, actually, excuse me, beginning of 2020 was the last time I worked in the physical office. But in a lot of buildings, it's either really hot or really cold, right? So that's the case in my building. It can be hot, burning hot in one room, and then in the auditorium it's freezing, and then another room it's alright, like, you know what I'm saying? And so this particular person came in my office as soon as I walked in the door and was like, is there somebody that can adjust the temperature to normal, because it's been freezing in there the last few days, just like it's been freezing for the last year. And this particular company sends different people all the time, but this person has been there since the beginning, since they started using our building a year ago. So he knows that the temperatures in that specific room are very extreme. And so as I'm sitting there, I'm trying not to snap, because I'm one of the people, while I'm up very early in the morning, don't bother me early in the morning, because then you can get slapped, like, right? That's just my personality. I'm not going to apologize for that. Who wants to be bothered early in the morning as soon as you walk in the building? Who wants to be bombarded with questions? No, especially on a Friday. No, leave me alone, right? So as I'm looking at him, I think my face might have did something, because I'm like, you have been here. You know how this goes. Stop acting like you don't know. And a lot of us that go through situations with people where we want things to change the way we want them to change, and they don't, and we act like we didn't know that it was going to be like this. No, you knew. You definitely knew that this person was not going to change, because they have not changed the last 20,000 times that you've asked them to. And it's not, you can't expect them to change who they've been for the last however many years that they've been in, right? You can't expect them to do that. They gonna be who they consistently been. If they've been consistently inconsistent, that is perfectly fine. It's not my job to make sure that you change, right? As a person, like well, it kind of is. In my business, yes, it is my job to make sure that change, real transformation happens in your life. But in my personal life, with my friends, I'm not going to push somebody to be somewhere that they're not ready to be in. But even in my business, I'm like that. If you're not ready to take accountability, if you're not ready to be completely honest with yourself, if you're not ready to really dig deep and figure out where a lot of this stuff is coming from, that's not my problem. I can't want change more than you won't change for you, right? So even with this air situation, I feel like a lot of people, they get upset because things have been consistently the way they've been, even though they don't want it to be that way. If you're not going to adjust to it, leave it alone. It's kind of how I feel about plastic surgery. People complain about their bodies. If you're not going to do anything to change it, stop complaining. My butt's too small. My boobs are too small. I don't have enough hips. Either work on it, pay to get it fixed, or shut up about it. Like, the constant complaining when you're not going to do anything to change it is what aggravates me more than anything else, because it's like, okay, you complain, but now what we gonna do? You're complaining with no solution. Like, give me a solution. I'm very much so a miss fix it. Like, when somebody gives me a problem, I'm like, okay, how can I fix it? And if I can't figure it out, I get pissed off, and I'm like, whatever. And I just need to be able to fix it. You know, I just want to be able to fix it. If you're gonna bring me a problem, I think it's my job. If you come to me with a problem, I feel like it's my job to give you a solution. Like, I just, I don't know. I just think about that all the time. Like, I think about people who've been in my life, and whether they're family, friend, long-time friendships, whatever. If people have consistently shown up as this, even though I want so badly for them to be something else, ain't nothing I can do. I can only let my expectations be known. I can only communicate my expectations. Like, and if we can't come to an agreement on that, what's really going on? Because how can two walk together unless they be agreed? How? You can't. That is scripture. You cannot. It's not going to work. If I'm telling you that for me, love looks like this, and you do everything but that, we're not walking together. We're not. I'm just being honest. Like, we're not. I can't expect my 2013 Toyota Tacoma to drive like the 2024 4Runner Limited that I won't. It's just because it's not going to meet that expectation. That's just not in their wheelhouse. That's not in their wheelhouse. It's like, it's just not. And that's okay. And I think sometimes with people's expectations, it's okay to have them, but I feel like some people, they are so rigid on their expectations that it almost doesn't make sense. Like it's okay to be rigid too, like, but sometimes you're expecting people who don't have a certain thing in their wheelhouse to be that, and you get upset when they're not. Like, but you knew that they weren't that, and you're still expecting that of them. Does that mean you adjust your expectations? Yeah. If you want that person to be in your life, yeah. But that's part of it, having boundaries. Like, if I know that this person consistently shows up in one way, and it's not saying that they're a bad person, if they consistently, well, if I have an emergency, I know I can call them, but I can't trust them with my secrets, that's where that boundary is. I'm not going to tell you all my business, but if I really, really need you, this is where we are. Right? That is something that people have to consider. But some people want people to be everything to them because they want to be everything to them too. And it's just, it's not fair. It's not fair to put such a huge burden on somebody. Like, I was listening to Pastor Mike yesterday. I love listening to Pastor Mike. I do. He, like, we speak the same language. Like, but with him, he mentioned something about being a needy friend. You can't get to, he's like, I'm a bad friend. I'm not the best. Well, he didn't say, I don't think he said I'm a bad friend. I think he said I'm not the best friend to have because I'm needy. I'm this. I'm territorial. The fact that he can take accountability for his flaws and know, like, okay, this is where I fall short in friendships. I need you to be patient with me in that. Cool. That's cool. But I think some people, they don't think, because everybody has a reason for everything, so they think they feel justified in that, right? Like, they feel like, well, I need this because this, that. A lot of that comes from unhealed trauma. Me needing to be reassured in relationships, at one point in my life, I need clarity in my relationships. I don't want to just be going with the flow. I want to be intentional, because if I'm wasting my time, I need to know, right? Because I've done it before. It's not always a bad thing when trauma is affecting your decision making, because if you know that, if you, like, I'm the kind of person, I will empty the clip for somebody that I care about, right? That is just me. I go all in for the people that I care about, because I don't have that many people that I hold close to me like that. But my boyfriend, my sisters, and my niece and nephew, like, I mean, of course there's some other people, like my spiritual parents, my actual parents, even with me and my parents not being close, I still would do the same for them because they're my parents. But yeah, like, I would empty the clip for them, for real. I ain't lying. I'm the person you don't want to find out that somebody. I will crash out so fast, okay? Like, I'm a crash out, and I understand that, like, because I get so, my emotions are so extreme. But if I know that, I don't need nobody that's gonna be playing with my emotions. Like, don't tell me, don't call me and being like, so and so disrespect me, because now I feel I'm going into this I gotta protect mode, and I had to learn how to control that. That's where my flaws are. I go above and beyond for people when they don't always deserve, when it doesn't necessarily call for that. I always have been that way, like, always. And I'm learning now is because I feel like people don't do that. I feel like people don't protect me. I don't have places of safety, and I had to learn. I had to get that together. I'm like, girl, you got to get it together. Like, you cannot be crashing out for the smallest things. Like, what's really going on, sis? Like, I remember being in high school, and my sister can attest to this. She will tell you, yes, my sister got banned from a gas station over $20. I did. Like, I absolutely did, because I felt like you were playing in my face. And at that time, I was 16, 17. And at that time in my life, I had nothing to lose, right? And I literally went to jump across the counter on this lady that was working because she stole my money. And my baby sister is very, when I'm there, my sister is very rational. Both of us can't be there, because if both of us there, it's a problem. It's really a problem, right? Like, we can't both be crashing out at the same time. It's just not gonna happen. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work if we are both crashing out. So she's always the calm one in most situations. I pop off first in every situation. I'm always the one that, like, who you talking to? Who you think you talking to? Like, that is me. That is me all the time. And I don't know how to turn it off. I don't know if it's the West Indian. I don't know if it's my southernness. Like, I don't know if it's the fact that I grew up in the crunk era. I got to run up, get done up. What you gonna do? That was a staple in my life. I don't know if that's why I'm like that or what. All I know is that with that particular situation, I was ready to kill that lady over $20. I was ready to do 25 to life over $20. 20, the number after 19. Granted, that was my gas money that she stole. That's why I was acting like that. But you see how I just made an excuse right there for myself? A lot of people do that, and it's not always called for. You can't let your excuses be the reason why, like, you feel like you can behave badly. Like, I'm just not, I don't want that for nobody. I want people to be as whole and healthy and rational as possible, because a lot of people are letting their trauma run their life. And I know that wasn't what I got on here originally talking about, but, like, for real, a lot of times when people won't, I'll make it work. I got you. A lot of times when people keep putting these expectations on things that they know are not going to meet it, is because they want it to stay there because it's familiar. They don't want something new. They don't want to have to like, I remember saying this out loud, that I would have to marry somebody that I've already dated, because I just don't have the time or patience at 32 years old to meet somebody and really, really talk to them just for them to be somebody that I don't know 5 years down the line. With my son's father, I've literally known him since I was 13 years old, right? When I got pregnant, I was 28. It wasn't what I had been prior to that. I was dating somebody who, for the time span that we dated, which was not very long, he showed up one way, but then he showed his ass the next, and I was like, bro, I will kill you. Like, you think you bad? I'm gonna show you. You gonna find out real fast. And unfortunately, that situation did take me to that place. But you know, with my son's father, it's something that I know. And that doesn't mean that we're in a bad situation. I'm not saying we're in a bad situation at all. It's not a bad situation. But it was so easy for me to go back to somebody I know. I have a problem recycling people in my life because it's something that I know. It's familiar. I know what to expect. If I tell you what I'm expecting out of you as my partner and you can't meet that, I immediately shut down. Because it's like you're not putting in the effort for me when I feel like I'm trying to be who you want me to be, right? And that's a problem too. Trying to fit into somebody's world where you're not necessarily meant to fit is hard. But because I have so much going on, I do so many things so well, I feel like, okay, well, which way you want me to show up today? Because I can do that. That's not something that is like bizarre to me or anything. Like I can show up as that if that's what you want. Like, because I have so many different facets of me. There's some days where I am loud and obnoxious. Most times I'm loud and obnoxious. But there's also a lot of times where I'm really like to myself, and then when I say something, they be like, "Ooh, I did not know she was like that." Yep, I am. And there's times where I'm, Miss Independent. I can do it myself. I don't need no man. But then there's also times where I'm like, babe, can you open this jar of pickles for me? Like, because I want that soft girl life at the same time. So it's like, I sometimes I just don't know how I want to show up. And I've realized that I can't be with somebody that only wants me to show up one way. I need somebody that understands that I am a tomboy some days, and the next day I will have on 6-inch heels and a skirt, and then the next day, I might wear jeans and a t-shirt. I might be like, some days I show up like this with absolutely no makeup, and then the next day I will have a full beat. Like, some days I want my natural hair, some days I want my hair straight, some days I want my hair in twist. I don't know. Some days I want faux locks. It just depends on how I'm feeling that day. And I need somebody that understands that. And people in my life that understand that things can change very quickly for me. And it's not because something's wrong. It's just, I just like different things sometimes. But yeah, y'all. So I guess I just got on here and started talking. I don't really know what's going on. So I'm driving out to my parents, and I'm about to pull up now. So I will talk to y'all later. Bye.